I'm
let's
going
see
to
when I
start
had
us
up.
out and then I'm going to pass it off to you. Okay.
Sounds good. Great.
Right. So just a reminder, we need 4 things. If you weren't here yesterday, we need 4 things that we've got to build. There are arenas of skill: marketing, sales, packaging and pricing, behind the scenes management. That's our restaurant. We also need to build things. We need to build a target or identify a target. We need to build an offer. We need to build let's get this
Funnel.
a funnel. That's a way for people to find our offer, narrow everyone into, move all the cattle into the pen kind of thing. And then we need a conversation to close it. That's all you guys need to get well over multiple 6 figures in your business. Yesterday, we built thing number 1, which was the target, right? And today we're building the offer. All right, so we're going to begin to build our offer. Tanya, I'm going to pass it off.
Sure. Switch my slides on my screen too. Sorry, where are we? Sorry.
Tanya, I'm going to say it's just kind of a screen through. I'll pepper in here as well.
Yep, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need a few things in order to build our offer. And obviously, the thing that most of you want to do is name your offer and price your offer. But really what you want to focus on first is, what is the promise of your offer? What are you actually doing with these people that you want to work with? What is the benefit for them? What is the value? What is the transformation? What is the end result? So that is the first thing that you're going to focus on. After that, of course, you're going to think of a title and a tagline. Here at CSC, we love the cute titles and taglines, but we also like things like creative, successful entrepreneurs. Very clear, very easy to follow. Taglines should be very succinct and explain what the title doesn't. And then we need content in our offer, right? What are we putting in our offer? What are the components of it? Are there modules? Is it just one-to-one servicing of a client? Is it courses? Is it digital products? Like, what is the content of the offer? Then we want to look at, what are the features, right? Features are sort of like, what do they get? Are they getting calls? Are they getting, self-study programs? Are they getting workbooks or worksheets? Are they getting products that they have to go practice with? What are they getting? Then we always want to build in what we like to add on, right, for the extra special sauce: bonuses, right? So we're always looking at, what can we bonus them in, especially if we need to move people into action, right? Oftentimes, what stops people from really buying the thing, even though they know that they need it, is a lack of sense of urgency. And so bonuses are often very helpful in creating that sense of urgency. You will see that modeled with so many different people. You'll see that modeled with us as well. This is something that we do to get people excited to come into our world, because we know how much we have to offer, right? But sometimes, because we're on the other side, a little bit apprehensive or afraid as the consumer, right? As the client, we need something to incentivize us, right? And so bonuses help to do that. And then after we look at all of that, then we think about our pricing. Our pricing comes last. We need to look at what we have built comprehensively and then place value on it. We also are going to be looking at our revenue goals, of course, when we are looking at our pricing. But first, we really want to think about that benefit first and foremost, because that has to be that has to align with or match the value that you want to put as a cost price point on that offer. All right. So
Perfect. And as Tanya runs into this, basically, want you all to know that this is in a workbook. It is in the workbook. And again, to make it on your short list of things to do when you're outside of the event, you'll want to work heavily on your offer tonight. Today is just about understanding how to build and to brainstorm a little bit. Our goal is to get you into the room to brainstorm so you can hear other people's ideas while you're also sharing yours. And that's our goal in the next few minutes here. So just as Tanya, I'm just going to screen through these slides and not actually teach each of these things, but you all will want to read them. Basically, yes. What is the benefit? The product, the product or the benefit is that first thing. The title, the tagline. We need to make these decisions as we're building the offer. And we do have a little worksheet in our workbook that allows you to start filling in each of those things. Tanya just explained them really well. Our next piece of clarity comes with this model. Go ahead and take it away, Tanya.
Sure. So what we definitely want to make sure that we are including in our offer, because often our offer becomes very sort of one-dimensional. So 4 factors to consider when you are designing the features of your program. So we talked about all of the different things that we need in the offer. Features are a very, very important one of those. We need to think about different components, right? So what do they really need to get the result that you are promising them? Right? Is it going to be through service? Is it through a product? Do they need education? Do they need like a passive product? And the best offers are comprised of a component of each of those things. Melissa, I think you can probably explain that. You say this in a
Yeah,
really strong way.
sure.
Yeah, can you like you explain this really well. Can you go through this?
Yeah, happy to do it. So the outside corners that we see here in the model, service, education or information, and product. Sometimes some of you may be like, wait, product, like I have a course, I have an info product. That would be an sort of either in the category of product or education and information. We separate them out because it is important to educate and provide information, and that can actually be a benefit of your offer. It balances your offer. So all businesses have all 3 of what's on the outside of this triangle. They should offer a little bit of a service, a product, and information or education. To give you an example, let's imagine we are selling shoes. Our service, our product would be the shoe. Our service might be, there's a place right down the street that does this. It's called Fleet Feet in my world, and they do this special sizing of your foot. They take a mold of your foot. Like, so there's a service of let's make your shoe 100% perfect. And we're going to give you an example of 16 different shoes we think would be great in different price points. And it's all on this little sheet after we do your little foot forming thing. And this will mean that if you're a runner, your feet won't hurt. So now they have a service on top of selling the shoe. And guess who sells a lot of shoes to high ticket runners in my neighborhood? That place does. Then education or information, they literally run other services like helping people get ready and sign up and find races in the neighborhood. This is a product-based business, you guys. They're just selling shoes there, right? But they have gotten an amazing amount of traffic, no pun intended, to their store because they've added a service and they've added information and education. So they do these meetings where people can learn all about how to run in a marathon and meet other people that run in a marathon. So they've provided this service of collecting people together and giving them information and education. That's a really good example of, if you're a product based, how you would add those 2 things. For service, it's the other way around. So Matthew's business, for example, he's already got courses. Tanya, she's already got courses. She's already, up over 100,000 making money from courses. Great. So the courses are great. Those are your product or your information and education. But if she takes a course and makes it live, like Play Big, for example, now we've got information and education live, right? If I record those videos, put them into a little course, give a workbook with it, and package it up nicely, now it's a product. So service, product, information, and education. In addition, inside, as Tanya said, there is a question of how people access and absorb the value in your business. So they can do that actively in a very high touch way. Think one-on-one sessions. Think a room like this is a bit of a high touch. This is actually a really good example of leveraged. It's a high touch leveraged experience, meaning one to many. So one-on-one, active, one to many, leveraged, 0 to many, as in I don't even have to be there. It's all passive. That would be passive. So anything that you can access automatically on your own without me, the business owner. So active, leveraged, and passive. And as we build that flight path, we have a lot of that lower level passive or leveraged. And in the upper level of our little triangle there, we have fewer people, just a little triangle at the top. We'll show you that in a minute. They're paying high ticket, but they get everything in the entire business model, right? And then at the middle level, we've got a lot of leverage stuff. And at the bottom level, a lot of passive, $0 free or low fee going on. So let's keep moving.
Thank you. That running example is always like such an easy way to understand this. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm going to jump to what should go in your offer, and we want you to build with these things, with this offer sheet that looks like that in your workbook. We'll do pricing a little later today. So here's a good example. I like this because that active, leverage, passive, it shows you some examples of what is an active feature, like an element. Sometimes people use the word element for building the offer. So what's an active element in your offer? And what's a leveraged element? And what's a passive element? So a good example of that. So those are some good examples. I'm actually having a hard time getting my screen to show that. You know what? I'm sorry. I'll do it this way. Hang on a minute, folks. There we go. So things like high ticket, high level mastermind, a one-on-one coaching experience, a deep dive day all day long with one, it's a really great way, or a small group, 4 people in a room. Retreats could fall into the active arena. Or a very high leverage, one to very few. We have a retreat coming up shortly, going to Sedona in October. Contests are sometimes a really good example of active, where it's live, it's happening in the moment, and each person is really being spotlit. Leveraged, good examples of leveraged offers. And then passive, and the membership can actually be over into the passive arena if your membership doesn't have any kind of engagement with you at all. They just get all the courses, or they get all the days or whatever. It can fall into leveraged or passive. So the education, execution, and mastery is something we haven't touched on just yet. I'm actually not sure. I don't want to confuse the matter at this point. But know that as your client comes through the door with you, whether it's product or product-based business, a service business, either way, doesn't matter. They are going to go through an arc of awakening, essentially. At first, they are going to get educated. You're going to be opening up their awareness and their, what we call ownership, that there is a pathway they want, and that it's their problem or their hunger that they're going to solve. That's ownership. I have this issue. I want to solve it. I'm aware of what it is. Oh, it's more complicated than I thought, maybe, whatever. So all of that is going on. And then they're going to begin to learn to execute and build the solution that they have now learned and been educated in. Whatever it is, how to run a marathon, for example. Now they're going to start executing. They're going to go on Saturday runs with you. They're going to, right? So that's a little bit more awareness, ownership, education, information. Now we're on to some execution. As we keep doing that over and over again, over an extended period of time with more one-on-one or small group help, then we get into that mastery arena. So for the client, they experience getting educated, leaning into execution, leaning into mastery as they go through a broader experience with you. But you don't have to sell one at a time from the bottom up.